where our treasuries are empty, our credit is exhausted, our people discontented, our governments remote and discredited. Now, I'm sure you can guess which way this argument is moving. If you repeat our mistakes, if you shift power from the 50 states to Washington, from the elected representative to the federal czar, from the citizen to the state, we know exactly what lies in store for you. I've been a member of the European Parliament for 12 years. I am living in your future, or at least the future towards which your present leaders seem intent on taking you. And believe me, my friends, you are not going to enjoy it.
Yeah, no kidding. And welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. That man who is wearing, I think, the same tie that I'm wearing right now, or not the same tie, but the same kind of tie, looks the same, is Daniel Hannan. He is a British journalist, member of the European Parliament, as you heard, representing South East England for the Conservative Party. And he is the author of a brand new book, Inventing Freedom, How the English-Speaking Peoples Made the Modern World. I hold that book up in my hands, and we welcome in Daniel. Hello, Daniel.
Hey, Steve.
I got to tell you, first of all, how dare you write such a racist, bigoted, xenophobic title to your book?
Well,
you must be getting a lot of heat from that. But before we get to that, and before we get to all that, you must have strong opinions on what Harry Reid and the Democrats did to the U.S. Senate yesterday, breaking the rules to change the rules, making the Senate basically like the House of Representatives now.
Sure. I mean, one way of summarizing Anglosphere exceptionalism is in John Adams's phrase, a government of laws, not of men, right? The rules are above the people who play by the rules. That may sound obvious, but it's pretty unique, and it's why our countries remained free and how we understand freedom under the law to work. Now, for what it's worth, I think the president is wrong in his interpretation of what the founders envisioned for the Senate. I think they precisely intended the Senate to be a conservative break on the radicalism of the popular chamber. I think that delay is not an abuse of Senate functions. It is the Senate's function. But you know what? Say I'm wrong about that. Let's say that Obama is right and I'm wrong. He is still not the guy who should get to decide because he is a player on the pitch. He can't be the referee. And that's what the rule of law means.
No, without a doubt. And, you know, when you stand there at CPAC and basically tell the United States that they're headed towards socialism and even Greece, possibly. That's not good news, but you are so on target. And I think it's even worse than that in this country right now with what happened yesterday, which means the judges will be stocked on the benches for 40 years to come with lifetime appointments, all with Obama's political philosophy. And there's nothing we could do about it.
I mean, the normal thing in the world is that people get into power and then they rig the rules to suit themselves, right? That happens in most of Africa, in most of Asia, in most of South America, and even in most of Europe. We are really lucky, we English-speaking peoples, to inhabit countries where there is freedom under the law, where individual liberty is guaranteed, and where the guy in charge doesn't get to make things up as he goes along. But that is a precious and unique heritage, and it is up to all of us to preserve it.
Have you gotten pushback, Daniel, on the claims in the book? I mean, the book is so well written, and the book is so documents and is the truth. Yet, of course, in today's modern era, with our kids would never learn this in school.
Well, I mean, I think there is now a class of people who are looking to accuse other people of chauvinism or bigotry or racism, almost on principle and pretty much regardless of what we say or write. But I mean, if you read this book, you will find that my thesis is that Anglosphere values have nothing to do with territory or ethnicity or ancestry, and everything to do with institutions. The reason why the child of Greek parents in Melbourne is happier and freer than his cousin in Michelini has nothing to do with race and everything to do with political structures. The Anglosphere values can work anywhere. They are why Bermuda is not Haiti, why Hong Kong is not China, why Singapore is not Indonesia.
You know, you say something very profound. I mean, do you mean that for the entire West? And if you do, based on what? Where would we be heading?
Well, on most measures, the country is reaching its twilight. But that doesn't mean that our values are finished, because, as I say, they can take root anywhere. Indian professor Madhav Das Nalapat put it very well when he said the Anglosphere is based on a blood of the mind, not a blood of the body. I actually am fairly optimistic. I'm particularly optimistic about India. It is the largest Anglophone common law democracy. If India self-defines primarily as an Anglosphere democracy rather than as an Asian superpower, then I think the 21st century is a much brighter place.
How is Barack Obama viewed in your circles?
Well, I mean, if his electorate were made up of commentators and politicians in Europe, then his approval ratings would be 90% rather than 38% or whatever they are. But, of course, that's not how the founders drew up your Constitution.
No, that's absolutely true. Okay, listen, a fascinating topic, Daniel. Good luck with the book. Daniel Hannan, the book Inventing Freedom, How the English-Speaking Peoples Made the Modern World. And I hope to speak to you again, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
My pleasure. All right, folks, when we come back, we're going to be joined in studio, I'm very happy to say, by George Zimmerman's former attorney and CNN legal analyst and defense attorney, Mark O'Mara. So don't go away. Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.